Welcome to Tea with Cubes.
Well,
I think we should get into our topic of the day because
we're already
we
20
have
minutes.
I think it's going to be
a good one.
A good one. It might be a long one as
Right.
well.
Are you willing to come back? If we can't finish.
No, of course. I know where you guys are. So.
I know. Let's not even go into that.
So the topic of the day is do women love their children more than
men love their children? And today, guys, on Facebook and Instagram, please, feel free to comment with your comments. That is what I wanted to say. Feel free to chime in with your comments. Everybody, yes, we want to hear everybody's opinion on whether you think women love their children more than men love their children. Should we ask Tiwa first?
We should. Since you're the guest, what do you think?
I would say honestly, yes. First and foremost.
Okay, wait. Sorry. Before you start,
Okay.
part of the reason why Tiwa is on this is because I don't know if but we have all seen Tiwa on the Insta. And I know Tiwa personally as I taught his kids, so I know he's very involved with your children. You guys, you're very involved. So this is part of the reason why you are chosen for this project. So for those of you who don't know, we think.
Acted up.
Do you need
to go back on?
Can I move?
I can get it.
Yeah. Go ahead. So we decided that.
It's hot. That's why.
So we want Tiwa to give us his take.
Just press the button. That one. No, the other one.
The
other one. No, the other. That one.
Why don't you just use
the
laptop is making it hot.
Okay, just put it on the water.
Has you started? Sorry, Instagram people. Sorry,
we're just having some.
Minor.
I think we started though.
It never stopped.
Oh.
Okay, just maybe
I
we'll
want to
cool
10 minutes now. I wanted it to stop.
Oh, okay, so so he's very well. I call him the original baseball dad because he's always at the field. He's involved. So tell us, what do you think about this topic?
Sorry, I don't know. I think it's a great topic because it's and my opinion on a man can feel emotion about their kids, and I'm saying this from my personal view, but we didn't carry the baby for 9 months, we didn't nurture, we weren't expecting, we didn't go through the body transformation and all that. So it's the love a woman has for her children. It's a little different than what a father has for his children. Not to say that it can't be equal, but it's a little bit higher just because the mother birthed the child.
Oh my God. I feel like I'm surprised at that answer right now.
Why are you surprised?
No, because it's rare for people in a question where it's women versus men, for a man to actually say that yes, I can see how the women's side will be more. I'm just being honest. I expected equal, but not more.
A comment on Instagram, I think it's hard to generalize. I know deadbeat moms and deadbeat dads, so it's hard to say.
Okay.
So
but I think it's also not necessarily that we're looking at just in general minus the circumstances of how they treat the child, like from you're talking from when the child is born. And that's when it set the tone. That's how I'm thinking of it. No matter, because yes, there's situations where a mother may drop off or a father may drop off, but if you're just coming off of the love from in general, a man's love cannot outshine or outdo a mother's. It's not possible, because it's always that special, because again, men didn't birth children. We help conceive the baby, but we're not we're participants. We just got our badge for participating, and she's carrying the baby, she's going, for me to have, I have 2 kids, and I didn't go through the experience, but I was part of the journey of the experience, where especially my first son, looking forward to the baby coming out, watching each day, and months and weeks pass by to see, and then I watched my son being born. Just because as a child, I've always been very curious to the day I have my child and that day finally comes, I was there to see it and watch it, and it was such like a life-changing experience. And then even like I always say, like no matter what, like most men that I know that have kids, they say that that moment just changed their lives. In fact, I was at a meeting last Thursday, and this elderly white man came in and he was talking to the friends of ours, and he told them, oh, he just had his first child, his daughter, and he was like, man, and he said it's a life has just changed for him. Like, man, life is just amazing right now. So it's different. We enjoy and we love it, but we cannot compare ourselves to women. It's
right.
it's
So
not
that goes with what Cody said. Cody said it's more of a different type of love.
Yes.
Not necessarily like it's more love.
right.
Then Lajitska says, I feel like my mom would sacrifice her happiness for me in a way my dad maybe wouldn't. But I feel like my dad would literally give everything for my comfort in a way my mom wouldn't.
So that's interesting.
That's interesting because like one of the questions we had polls on our pages, and I asked the statement was, women love their children more than men love their children. Do you agree, yes or no? 49% said they agreed. 51% said no, they don't agree. I got a lot of comments saying that, well, from a lot of married women saying, no, well, I watched how my husband loves my children. Like, he loves them just as much, just in a different way.
Yeah, that's
right?
very true.
Although, when I said to these women, I'm like, okay, let's remove your husband, Sha, from the equation. Do you think, in general, women love their children? Yes, now, of course, now women love their children more. When it was in their own particular situation, they said, yeah, my husband loves the children as much as, just in a different way. But then if you're talking about outside, oh, no. Women generally just love more. And then another question that I asked was, do you think a woman would sacrifice more for her children than a man would? 90% of people said yes, women sacrifice more
I think so.
for their children than men do.
Well, that goes to that research article that I saw, and talks about like women and men and the labor of love. And they did a study about women and men who went Christmas shopping. And when they got there, it was evident that the women had actually sacrificed the time. Like the discussion, the results show that the women had sacrificed the time to figure out what the kids want, what they like, what they need, categorize everything.
Right.
And it was evident that there was dedication. So somebody had to sacrifice something, going out, something to actually pay attention to the kids. While the dads are like, what, just buy everything on the shelf.
It goes back to when you said dedication. It goes back to when women were dedicated to spend time and change their lives disrupt their bodies for 9 months to give birth to a child or multiple babies. And then men just like, well, just have the baby, you have another one. It's like we and I'm saying this from a man's point of view because we don't know. So when you don't know, you don't feel the pain. You hear somebody screaming for like, they're in labor pain. It's not the same till you feel it. That's why women were like excited when I saw something on the internet where they said, well, men should get the opportunity to have babies. And women were like, yes. So you understand the pain, and he carried the baby for 9 months, and he loses his abs, and he doesn't feel good looking anymore.
Yeah.
So it's just a comparative difference that
But then my question would be like, because I had because it seems like what you're saying is that because women are the ones that carry the pregnancy and have the child, then they're more inclined to
so even and it leads to also women that don't conceive, that even adopt. It's just a motherly instinct to just
a female instinct.
So by nature,
I just feel like by nature women just have that. Not to say men can't, like I know it's not like anybody taught me like the love I have for my boys, my kids. It's natural for me, but I also get like for women, just like when you see women and see babies, they gravitate. Even little girls, they automatically gravitate. Even little boys may gravitate, and they're curious and look and they're poking. Oh, stop! But the little girl is more wanting to carry the baby. So it's a natural born instinct,
Now, do we think that there are cultural presets?
I think so.
To when, to the idea or the perception that women do love their children more?
You have situations, even for us being Nigerian, we all know what it was like being kids and, it was, even though now I believe times have changed more when we were younger, it was more the women and the mother are the caretakers of the house. Primary caretakers. The men,
Which
you know,
sounds very
the men are not really and you find even with some parents, which is why, like, you know, back home you find some people who are the relationship with the father is a bit different
Right.
because they're always around the mother.
Right.
Go see your mama. Go talk to your mom.
Yeah.
You want to eat? Go and see your mom. It's never on the dad.
Yeah.
But fast forward to this 21st century lifestyle they would leave. I believe fathers are more involved where the fathers equally came in. Oh, go see your dad if you're hungry. Your dad will take you or get food or cook food for you.
Depends on the
Well,
house.
I said, depends on the household, but
I'm gonna disagree.
but it is. I feel like from what I've seen, it is not the same as what our parents' generation was.
But I'm going to tell you, our parents had caretakers of the kids.
Which is, I had caretaker. I had a nanny. I had
Yeah,
nannies
so
and
my
caretakers.
mom, I think my mom was like one of the few, she didn't have nannies, but she was one of the few women that, you know, walked that fine line of taking care of our own kids and having nannies at the same time,
Yeah.
right? But then we find that a lot of women do not actually participate in our culture, do not participate in the care of their own kids.
Yeah, which is true. That
Yeah, you see
That is
that,
true.
you know, not just in the older generation, but even now.
Even
because
now,
I've seen a lot
it's a
of
trend.
I've seen a lot of like our peers who have nannies, and they're really not doing much apart from they're social media moms. Their children are there for, you know, posing.
Right.
But you know, they're not like, it doesn't seem like they're actively involved in the day-to-days of taking care. I had a friend of mine who said that, I hope he's not watching, and I hope, well, whatever.
Well.
If you're watching, sorry. But
Well.
I have to use that as an example. But he said that his children's mother doesn't even give the children a bath. It's the
Oh,
nannies
my
that,
God.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, even
Yeah.
just something as simple as that. She doesn't like give them a bath. Like, the nannies do everything for the
So
children.
in that household, it will come off as he obviously
Loves
he
the
loves the
seem-
kids.
yeah, it
Does
would,
he
it would
find that?
seem like, yeah, that he loves the children more because she doesn't seem as involved. She doesn't
Right.
have, because not a lot of women are very maternal. That's the truth. There are quite a few women, and
I
it's
feel
not
like you
it's not
don't
the
have a
popular
choice.
opinion. But
Is it because you feel like it's more of a selfish thing?
I don't know if
Or
it's selfish
what
or
is
it's
it?
just that some women just they just don't have that.
Okay, but what is maternal? Even when we define that, what is it? What is maternal?
Maybe like you want to be close to your children, you like babies, you want to be there from the beginning and everything.
So is that just our maternal?
No, now.
I mean,
No. Because like, how do I explain it? Because we see some women who, yes, they have their children, but they don't really care too much to be in. Like, okay, yes, I had the child. Okay, like, why do I have to do everything? Why do I have to give you a bath? Why do I have
That's
to
your
give
baby.
you food? Why do I have to do this? Why do I have to do
Yeah.
that and everything? And in those times or in those situations, it's the dad who's stepping in to.
But you know, funny, I also know a bunch of men that they're more entrepreneurial and they're very involved in their kids' day-to-day life. Like even when I coached when I coached my kids' basketball and baseball team, I've met other dads who were entrepreneurial, and I see their interaction with their kids, and it's just like me, you know. And when I get to know them a bit better, I start finding out that they don't have the typical job structure. So that also plays a part into your involvement.
Right.
You know, like for me, because I do work, I own my own business and I work from home. I'm very involved. I take the boys to school, drop them off, and I do my best to make sure I'm home when they come back. They meet me. You know, we do homework together. We get lunch or we go eat, and then we get ready for baseball. You know.
That'll work.
You know, so but I've noticed is been a lot more of the fathers who aren't stuck to a 9-to-5 typical job are very hands-on.
I was gonna say that too because when I asked that question about who would sacrifice more, I think I followed it up with something that I saw online where women rank their children higher as a source of happiness, right? Whereas men rank their children as the same as their career in terms of a source of happiness. and someone reached out to me and she was like, oh my god, this makes me feel really, really sad because I just felt like my dad wasn't really there when we were growing up, and her dad worked for the same company that my dad worked at, and I was just like, yeah, like we didn't really see daddy that much because he was always at work, and then when you come back from work you're still getting back on the computer to work some more, so you don't have that time. So I think it's interesting that you bring up
the work structure,
the work structure, because if you're working your typical 9 to 5, or in fact these days 9 to 6, and then you get home, you're exhausted from work. I know women too.
As somebody in that situation, like seriously, somebody in that situation who works the 40, really, it's more than 40 hours. Because when you're a teacher, you're working like 10 hours straight. Because you're staying 2 hours after work, you're coming in an hour early. You understand? Included in that 8 hours.
Right.
And then you have to take care of your kids. And then your husband is working the 12, 14 hours a day too, right? Mm-hmm. But then my job doesn't ever stop. Mm-hmm. My job doesn't ever stop, right? And then you are saying you're tired all the time.
Like, I do not go to work.
But then
that is a big problem now.
It's a huge problem.
I don't know. Which is actually, more common than none.
Yeah.
Because I mean, yes, you have a household where both the mother and the father, they're working. Everybody goes to work, whether it's in the house or you're going out. But then when anyone comes back, both people are tired though. But somehow, is the mother that still
and that falls back to the whole sacrifice.
Yeah.
I mean, you're right. It's also on lifestyle, the occupational, what you're doing, and it's tough for some. But I think those who do have the favor of being that have the time have to actively participate. Like you said, you remember when, like, well, now I think about it, you're right. Dad was never really around because he was always working. And even so, when my son's not complaining, Dad, you're always busy. But I'm like, I'm physically here. You can see me. Give me 30 minutes and I'll be done.
Wait, sorry. Let me just read something from Legit. She said, my dad had an 8 to 7 bank job and did the school run before work and at his lunchtime, and also was a lesson teacher, setting us assignments and then checking in when he got home.
Oh my God! Wow.
So
was that? Wow.
Yeah.
Uncle Daniel does the same thing.
Then Efe says, as a mom, your job never stops.
No,
yes,
that's true.
But then when you were talking about your sons being like, come over here, and you're like, I'm physically here, but you're not here. So in the book, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, there's a piece on communication, right? And it talks about how kids don't perceive that communication as love, because dads are always like, no, you can get over it. Get up. No, why are you crying? No, do this. Oh, I'm coming. I'm right here. I'm coming. You don't need me right now. All right? Which sometimes I tend to do myself. But then the kids turn around and like, he doesn't really care about me, and he doesn't really want to be with me. And then that's, like we were saying last week, we had our topic last week was
love languages.
Love languages. A lot of women from our polls were like, their love language was act of service or
words of affirmation.
So in turn, to us as women, seeing you telling that child, no, I'm coming, or get up and do this, to us it seems like you don't really love this child because your words are not communicating that you love them.
Also, so I was very very vocal on, Daddy, you're always working, you're never, and I had to explain to him that, take a step back. 365, I can tell you how many times I'm away. I'm away there's more times I'm here than away. So if you see me working, just give me 30 minutes or an hour, let me finish this project, then I have time for you. I coach your team, I coach Addie's team. I take you to swimming, I'm involved. I pick you up from school, Daddy.
I feel like your dad.
I
do this.
I'm telling you, I think because he's old, he's 9 now, he's starting to really understand, like, wow, when I tell myself, well, some other people's parents, they don't see him in the morning because they're going to work early.
That's true.
I'm going to get back from work, they have to go see the grandma that's in after school program till 6. You can call and say, Dad, 2:45, I want to be, can you pick me up? Can I be a car rider? You have that luxury. So I started to really, like I said, communication, instead of just saying, well, I'm busy, I started to explain to them, kind of how it's working. And then now, they're more accepting and understand. Now they can say, oh, so what are you working on Greek picnic project, or are you doing the real estate? What are you, now they're asking like, what are you doing? Or are we going to a meeting? I don't really want to go to this meeting. Oh, you're going for a meeting for this one? I want to come. And because, my environment's a bit different, okay, we can go, let's go.
And I think like culturally, that's missing, especially in our culture.
Right.
Because a lot of men, they do not spend that amount of time actually explaining to their kids why they work the way they work and why they're doing what they're doing. So, and I mean, obviously it's all to benefit them, but to them, they're just like, you know what, I'm busy, leave me alone.
Right.
Want something, gas come on.
No, very true. Right, true.
Yeah, gas come on. That thing.
Yeah.
You're hungry. Do I look like you cook? Your mother's cooked. Guy eats.
Right.
That kind of thing. So culturally, that's just what it is, and that's how it's seen, and that's how obviously, like you said, how if you said as a mom, your job never stops. So that's why, the kids, if you're to ask a lot of kids, between mommy and daddy, who would you want to spend more time? Who do you love more? A lot of them will say to the mother.
Oh, we did a poll. I asked the question, who are you closer to, your mom or your dad? And 73% said they're closer to their moms.
Well, these toddlers, because teenagers won't get how are you involved in this conversation?
So and it's again, as I just feel from what my upbringing, and I went to boarding school when I was 12, and I lived there for like 3 years, so majority of my year was in boarding school. I'll come home and see my parents on break or summer halls, and then back to school. So it's having that experience. I guess also I didn't, between that age of 12 to like 16, that was a very crucial age range of growing up, which I did mainly by myself. But it wasn't until after the fact that there was a sacrifice that was made that made me mature a whole lot faster, more than the average 12 to 16-year-old. So when I came here, I went to school in Salvador. Most people, that was their first time at 18 years old leaving home. I've been leaving home and going to camps for a month, getting sent out. So kind of not understanding that structure. Now when you have kids, now you realize that, okay, everything you're doing now, you're sacrificing for your children to be better. And then you hope that there's going to be some uncertainty as well as being uncomfortable in some situations, but it pays off better in the long term, And I think with a lot of kids these days, is the biggest thing is communication. You have to explain in simple English why certain things are like that. And obviously, like Nene said, she's had both my sons in Primrose, where she's able to, even the physical reporting, or your son is this, or Ade is this, or Ayo is that, kind of help with even my shaping of how I treated the kids, but when they came home, doing what we do. But I think it's just this day and age, most men have to really, especially for boys, like boys need their fathers.
So how do we cultivate that? How, as a group? Because we keep, so I believe that there's distinction in race when it comes to children of color and Caucasian children, when it comes to the father and the parenting, and who loves who more and who's always there, right? And the blame seems to always fall on the fathers and mothers of children of color. Like, we're losing them because their parents aren't there, they're not working. So how do we cultivate this habit? Even, let's not even go as far as saying, okay, all the African Americans, Hispanics, also. Let's even bring back to this our little Nigerian circle here. The people around us every day. Even though we interact with other, but like every day we interact with Nigerians, and we just be like, you look at somebody and be like, bruh, why are you not? Like, you see your wife over there 9 months pregnant, and you're doing have to do the work.
Right.
Why? Why are you not picking up some slack here?
Why aren't you helping out?
Right. So how do we cultivate that idea?
I think if you're going to have to catch the next generation, you have to teach that into the young boys and young girls early. Because if a grown man is seeing his wife or the mother of his child doing heavy work at 9 months, 8 months. You know what I mean? Like,
whether even 9 months, 8 months, whether she's,
you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to step up at some point, but it's because it wasn't taught to them, or they didn't open their eyes and see and realize you have to be the man to take care. But You know,
Would
it's
you
tough.
think is that though?
I mean, I don't know what else it is.
I don't know.
You know, like it's because sometimes you have like family trauma where the father and the mother went together, so they met, so he never saw his father helping his mom as using as an example
That's
point.
true.
You know, either they had, and you know, like most of our parents or Nigerians, they hit a lot of relationship issues.
Right.
They hit, so they were very good
Right.
actors in front of
Right.
the children.
That is
But behind, like now as an adult, if you talk to any parent, auntie or uncle, you will start figuring out there was a lot of
Oh,
bad
that's
shit
right.
that was happening behind the scenes, and you were like so oblivious that you thought we were the perfect family.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it wasn't the case. So that kind of happens with children where, you know, you don't really, and it goes to affection where you don't see, most people don't
Yes.
see like their mother and their father hugging and kissing. So over the years, now you've never seen it, and now you're getting to your age of relationship. You can't do that to another woman because you've never seen it around you.
Yeah.
And it's weird to you when it's like, how do I give affection? Because you've
Right.
never seen
Never
it
seen it handled in front of
directly,
you.
you know?
What do you think it is?
I you know, I mean, just speaking on that part, because it's something that, you know, in our house we do, you know, like, because we.
Oh, you have some comments.
I have a lot of comments.
Oh,
No.
okay. Let me bring it forward to you so you can read your comments. Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
See, how is he doing that? He doesn't close out of his
Exact.
stuff.
Keep saying.
Oh, hey, what was I saying? Right. So in our house, what we do, we definitely try to portray stuff between us as parents that the kids are watching,
Okay.
so that we know that as they're growing up, when they eventually go out of the house, and get their own families or whatever,
Right.
they have that background of.
Right.
How okay, daddy did this, mommy did this, how mommy and daddy used to interact with each other, blah blah. Now obviously there are instances that I will feel like, okay, dad, you still need to do more, because everything is still shouldn't just still fall on me. And there have been times where the kids, well, especially like my oldest, he's 6, he'll come and be like, dad is not paying me attention, dad is not doing this, and at that point it's kind of like, what, it's something that as parents we have to really try to break, because these kids of nowadays, they're different from when we were smaller.
Yes, sir.
Because now, I mean,
They pick up
everything, like the
everything.
sharpness these children have is scary.
Yeah.
So it's always like in a house, it has to be a cautious effort. Like let not everything just fall on one person, but it has to kind of like be like a joint.
And they have that perception of who loves them more.
Yeah.
Because if you go, I'm telling you, if you ask my child some days, she will tell you that I love my mother and her dad. And I will give you a personal experience, because at some point in our lives, she would say, why is he not coming to pick me up, or why is he not? So actually last Friday something happened, he couldn't pick her up. So I picked her up from school, and I picked her up early because I had a training, and the training, I went back, I picked her up from school. She sat in her chair and she said she's not coming home. I'm not kidding. She said she's not coming home. That why is her daddy not coming to pick her? That does he not care about her? I was like,
Oh,
huh?
wow.
You're only 4.
I'm telling you,
Like,
their brains are wide.
like,
Yeah.
why that she not said to me, but so and so's daddy came to pick her.
Yep.
So why is my daddy not coming? I was like, oh my god.
And with kids, like I said, kids these days are very wide. There's something that they're advanced more than we were.
Right.
And I, even from when I come to pick up the boys from was pre-K, just being physically there, that little
Yes.
coming to show up makes a world of a difference. Because now you can just see when they see you, they're gonna run,
Right.
and these are memories you're etching in their memory bank at, like I said, 4 years old. What you would think? What does a 4-year-old know? But she psychologically and mentally knows that my dad's physical presence is not being here.
Yeah.
Now it's etched in her memory. She will never forget
She
that.
cried
day.
all the way home. Like
Oh,
no joke.
wow.
And it's like 40 minutes.
Uncle Ben.
And I told him, I said,
So the
Yeah.
thing is, like, it's that continuous, spending time and forming your bond with
Right.
your child. Like
Right.
now, my boys and I, we spend so much time with them because I'm coaching both their teams. I've asked, what their mom is working. The grandma says, well, can I take them to swimming? And I was like, you know what? It's only 30 minutes. I'll take them. Because now they get there, they're excited. Dad, they'll start asking, can you play Drake on Spotify? You know, they're building memory. And so these are like when they get older, like I will tell you, I remember when I was 3 and I did, what do you know? But I promise you, he will tell you to a T what happened at 3.
Wow.
So, you know, like their
does
memory,
that,
they are retaining so much information. So we just, you know, the biggest thing is we just have to continue to just build this bond, and then like things that we've found that we don't like or we're trying to shift. Like I said, we've kind of missed a generation with us. We're older.
Right.
It's hard to break that mold. But now with our kids, anything that we see, like even like wives and husband, the wife has husband, look, you have to spend more time with your son and daughter. You have to make an effort or take them out for ice cream.
Right.
Little things and have conversation. Because I'm telling you, and I'm telling you, because my son said, if you promise, do not break that promise.
Yes.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
No, that's a big one. Yes.
I'm telling you right now, if you can't make it, know in the back of your mind first before you confirm.
Yeah.
Because your son or your daughter will now say,
Okay. That's how it is.
Daddy makes promises, but it does not keep.
Does not
Yeah,
keep.
true.
Yeah.
You know, like, and then surprises, little treats. I mean, it just.
So I have a personal story about surprise.
I'm
this
big
guy
on
right here. So this guy showed. So we used to do Friday reading mystery reader, right? And I never knew. I didn't want to really enjoy it. He never knew, and we'll make this big deal about who's gonna read the mystery reader. And I knew he was coming. And then you open the door, and his face is like, oh my God, it's my daddy! It's my daddy! It's my daddy! And then all the kids, literally, just like, it's like a ripple effect.
Yeah, all ran up
so
to me.
their dad. But then they're like, oh, it's daddy's daddy! And it's just like, okay. But yeah, I totally agree about those.
Brought like 2 dozen donuts, and those kids, every one of them wanted to jump on me and pictures and everything.
We're gonna see if we have some comments
on Facebook.
We are not.
No, but I think it's he's quite.
He's
real.
quite real. Yes.
Oh, you're
That's
getting
my mom.
some approval.
Oh, your mom said that.
Approval here. Yeah. So it's
No.
So I think just to put it out there, while it may seem like, or maybe even it is, that women, you know, tend to love their children more, or we are closer to, you know,
perception. Yeah.
children, whether it's perception or whether it's reality. The thing is, moving forward, like you said, we need to change it with our
Children.
with our
next
children.
generation.
Yeah.
And funny enough, at church today we were talking about parenting, and it's just giving me ideas
The boundaries and
give me ideas on what to do with. I have a 1-year-old daughter. Her dad lives in Nigeria for now. Right. Hopefully he'll come soon. But uncle is going to be very, very involved.
Yeah.
He must be.
You know the thing also, so one thing, a funny thing I'll tell you, like, again, before I had kids, I remember I used to be around people. I had a couple of friends who had kids early, you know, in their early teens and mid-20s. And, you know, kind of watching their interaction. And even in college, I remember some guys who had babies, and you could just, like, the college babies, the kids grew up, you know, there. And one thing that struck me was that, you know, you have to really form this tight relationship with your kids early and very strong, because once things come into play, either it's, you know, big financial break, or they become big and famous, or you get old and then, you know, if you don't have the relationship, they put you in a group home.
Yeah.
They're going to tell you, say, look, you're not staying with me. Your time, you know, you need to spend time with me, so you're burdened. I'm putting you in a group home with senior citizens. All of them, we pay the $1,200 a month for you.
Just go.
Yes, so
Yeah.
you don't want your kids to put you in a group home.
Is there no?
So you don't have to pretend to love your children because
It's definitely
actually love your
necessary.
children.
No, yeah.
Actually
And then
love your
people who fake it till they make it though.
Yeah.
All day long.
Because when
You fake it.
because if you don't form that relationship, when you're trying to move into the house with your husband, the husband and the wife, and they have that decision, like your parent wants to move in, so why you have to come in to our house? They said, you don't want him here. There's a group from up the street. You can come back and forth. You don't want that. So
And that is so awful though. That is
really
so
solidify your relationship with your children.
Right, that is true. And they'll pick sides. they'll pick sides if that perception remains.
Yes.
They're gonna obviously, like how people always complain, like we were talking today, oh, the boys love their moms more and they always come back. This is a Nigerian thing. My son comes back to me. He will always come back. He can go with that woman, but in the end, he'll come back. He'll come back. And this is that perception because these fathers, the mothers were sacrificing all these things.
Right.
So when he comes out, the son will come back to the mom because all he knows is this woman.
The mother's love.
The dad was there, no problem.
Mhm.
But she was the one who sacrificed. She sold her gold to send him to school.
A lot of women
She sold tomatoes in the market to send him to school. So, of course, where is the money going to come? The group home, the father will go to the group home. The mom will
not say that.
It's true.
true.
It's true. You have to.
So-
The relationship with your children is very important.
Yes, definitely.
Because another thing too, like I mean, I know how many minutes we have 5?
like 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I mean with going back to the whole love languages thing, a lot of kids bank on words of affirmation as a sign of love being
The
shown
things
to
that
them.
you say to your children.
And if you're in a household where it's more shouting done than the quiet loving manner or whatever, the kids are just going to they're just going to be taking a step back and just
Let me be honest, I had idea there's a lot of shouting.
no, they'll be shouting.
No, there's shouting, but not to say that there isn't, but there's also the balancing of you have to
Right.
cover that with excess love and,
Exactly.
and like there's times that I and Ade will mess, both of them the same day will mess up and I will yell at both of them. And once maybe when it calms down a bit, then I'll explain to them why they should not do that.
Exactly,
And then I will
yes.
now warm it up let's go get some pizza or some ice cream.
Right. See, that's where I was going with that, because you have a lot of men, or maybe culturally, a lot of guys.
Daddy just like
Exactly, they'll not be shouting,
Daddy's always shouting.
Daddy's always shouting.
No, they're shouting, And then, if you're not being like, okay, but Organa, you said, calm yourself that, why she did this, why she did that. And it's like, okay, you can shout, there's nothing against shouting. But when you've done that shouting, shall come back and tell the child,
this is
why I
raise
did
my
X,
voice.
Y, Z. Because when you do that, the kids they still get that whole reassurance from you.
You still love me, you're angry, but
you
you
know,
still
yeah.
love me.
And then you not be like, okay, you know what, yeah, maybe I really did mess up, okay, I'm sorry, and whatnot. But if you shout from thy kingdom come, you just be some children, by the time you shout, you enter here.
We have a couple of minutes left.
So this has been a great discussion. So
Yeah,
Tiwa, what's next for you?
All Black Everything 10-year anniversary coming up in December.
Lagos?
Yes, Lagos,
Wow.
December.
It's too late for us to go.
Light up the night.
No, it's not too late, so.
It's later, it's in
Just
September.
goodbye.
It's September.
It's not too late. I haven't bought my ticket yet, but still.
And you're the boy.
So yeah, All Black Everything December. I'll tell you, I haven't released it yet officially, but it's Christmas Day, 10-year anniversary. Working on some stuff for Super Bowl.
Oh, yes, it's in Atlanta.
Oh,
It is Atlanta. Okay, so we're angry. So TV Cubes and Tiwa wants,
Yeah, let's do some.
We're working on some Super Bowl.
Yeah, we
events
just
and
injected
things like
her.
that.
Well, you know the Patriots are shouting
Well,
to me next
yeah, I don't know.
I'm going to wear my Patriot shit, just
You're
as
not
a heads
supporting
up.
the NFL, Tiwa.
I haven't watched the game.
No, we're not supporting it.
No, now.
But this one's a little different because it's just.
There's some dollar
No, this
signs
one's
in one.
small. This one, but I haven't watched I've literally not watched any NFL game since last year.
I literally
Yeah.
find the
literally
scores
just-
on
yeah.
CNN.
I just care about it and stuff like that. And
You're cancelled. You're not allowed to find school.
lastly, been pushing this a lot. My cultured brand.
So it is
t-shirts.
your brand?
It is mine. I
Okay.
created this, and I've just been very big on. I'm one of those people I
You should have brought one for them.
I know
One for we can have that.
One.
No, I meant
cannot
like,
share.
So, I just was one of those people who just didn't want to. I just got tired of going to the mall and
1 minute. Yeah.
getting shirts. So I decided to make my own, and we're going to work on a huge lineup from business quotes to African sayings to all these things and images and design. So this is
Perfect.
just. So it's cultured by TiwaWorks. So this is just the
So
company
we
name.
intend to
We are
be your
looking-
brand
You heard it.
Yeah.
Let's do it. So
Let's do it.
we do so
Okay,
cultured
for-
gear, cultured
What's
gear.
the
Instagram.
Instagram?
Thanks,
Cultured
everybody.
gear.
Cultured
Instagram.
gear.
Yes.
And what's
Social
your
TiwaWorks on all
TiwaWorks.
platforms.
Thanks everybody
Alright.
for logging on again.
It's
We
so
are
great.
here on
Sundays
Sundays at
4
4
p.m.
p.m.
Oh, but not the next
Thanks,
two
everyone.
Sundays, we're going to break.
Yeah, we are going on a cruise next week.
without me though.
Am I coming?
Without me.
Are you coming? Come now. You can buy
Without
your
me.
tickets.
I'm really sad.
We have a free spot. But thanks everyone for coming
All right.
on today.
Tiwa,
Thanks,
Had a very
everybody.
nice
Thank you.
conversation.
It was fun.
We want to have you again.
We
Of
do
course,
it
let me
again
know.
back.
I'd love to come back.
All right.
Yeah.
Now that he knows the address.
All right.
Bye,
Bye
everybody.
everybody.
All right.